to everyone joining us for episode 6. And this is all about LinkedIn. And we'll come on to LinkedIn in a minute because I think we need to talk first about Kelly's goggle marks and my mug. So for anyone that's listening on Spotify, you may not necessarily see Kelly's eyes and the mug that I'm holding. So it's worth looking on YouTube just to get some reference. But yeah, let's talk about your eyes, Kelly.
So it is lunchtime as we're recording, 1:15 at that. I swam this morning at 8 a.m. and I still have goggle marks. How do you get these? Honestly, I didn't think they were that tight, but maybe they were.
I mean, did they hurt when you were swimming? Did you feel them?
Yeah, I mean, you can feel them, can't you? But if I smile, it's when I look sad, you can see them. So if I smile, you can't see.
Keep smiling, otherwise you look really tired. Oh, God.
But is that a new mug, by the way?
Oh, it's a new mug. Yes, I think we should talk about the mug. So
yeah, pairs last time.
So for anyone following me on LinkedIn or Instagram or both, you may have spotted that I posted about a new mug that I got sent by one of our avid fans, who is my mum. And I wondered why she'd sent me a mug with a really pretty card that she sent me with the mug saying, hope it's in one piece. And I asked her why she'd sent it. And this is my mum who follows our podcast. She wants me to send her the links when they go live. She tunes in, she watches them, she feeds back. And my mum doesn't have a background in marketing. Her career was in education and teaching and helping children with learning difficulties. So far from marketing, sales and business. But she watches, she tunes in. And she said, I've sent you a mug because I really enjoyed the episode on personal branding. And she said, I've learned a lot that everything you do affects your personal brand. And your mug, your Cath Kidston mug and your Fruit or Lakidi mugs, they're not on brand with your values, how you work, your calm approach to working and your professionalism. So now I'm sending you one that matches your colour palette and is much more grounded to your values.
And it does, like the background, your sofa as well, and the sea picture.
Yeah, it very does. Reflective, and now it all blends in. So
absolutely doesn't. But...
Are your clients in London or?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. Maybe my mum needs to send you a mug.
What's her name? Shall I request one?
Shout out to Lorraine to send you a mug.
Lorraine. My branding is, what colours is it? Like black, pink, and a...
White.
Tan. A tan, yeah, a tan mug would be good, actually.
Okay. I'll get her to read your website, get more of a view of who you are. And
we've also just been talking, if you are watching on YouTube, about Hayley's aesthetic background and mine.
Oh yeah, with you. Yeah.
So you're gonna move, so you can't see that one thing.
We're working on it. But for now, we are talking about LinkedIn. And we said we're just going to have a discussion around LinkedIn, the pain that the algorithm gives us, how we use it for clients, how we use it for our own marketing, and I suppose just sharing some tips of how we get around the algorithm to improve reach and to build engagement with our own followers and for our clients' followers, because it's quite a beast to tame, actually, LinkedIn. And it's a really popular social media platform, isn't it, that people use for business, obviously, but more so, I think, over and above X and Facebook. LinkedIn's become the community site to use.
I put a lot of energy into it. I feel like I have my emails open, then I have LinkedIn open, and I am always either thinking of LinkedIn post. I've got like a geeky calendar as well to note down ideas. I'm either thinking of post, writing about post ideas, writing a post, like rewriting a post, scheduling a post. I feel like it is literally my life, either for my own, and I do quite a bit for clients as well. And I actually really enjoy doing the client sides because I feel like it's a bit of a challenge, but also a really good way of improving my writing skills as well. So I'm
Yeah.
really thinking of it. I find mine trickier for some reason. I just can't get the like I don't know, like the what am I doing here, like the purpose and is this right kind of feeling as I do when I work
Yeah.
with clients. It's but
Yeah.
that's something I think when you've got your own business.
Yeah. Well, I think what we have to do is we work it from the personal side and then from our company's brand side. Yet with clients, I typically just work from their brand, from their company page. And I think how you approach the two are quite different.
Yeah.
In terms of the messaging and the kind of stories that you share. But there's clever ways that those two profiles, company and personal, can interact with each other to create engagement, to support, more sharing, better reach, through commenting, through resharing, and you can be quite clever. And I think this is where trying to tame the algorithm for me comes into it. And I wish it didn't. I wish we could just use it as, put anything up whenever you want and don't even think about it. And some of my clients do that personally, and I know other people that do it, but the algorithm really dictates kind of the value in your post reach and your engagement and being seen with other people's feeds.
Yeah.
And that's one of my pain points of trying to work it as best I can for clients to get the most out of it for their brand.
So have you spotted what you think is the good, the bad and the ugly and what gets in the way of the algorithm? Have you noticed that? I was doing some reading about LinkedIn actually a little while ago, not actually in prep for this, but it's helpful. My memory is good. So I read that, and I think I have messed up here on my own personal account. So yeah, I have a business page and I have my personal, and I have content pillars on my personal account. So I talk about brand and marketing. I talk a bit about another business that I have, but it's I do the marketing for it. It's sport related. And I also talk about like gratitude, mental health and things like that. However, I have noticed if I start talking about these other topics, my impressions go down. If I keep a consistent theme, they go up. So I've had a few weeks of just talking about brand and marketing stuff, and it's shot back up. However, if I do a post and it's just personal about me and lots of people engage with it, my impressions get higher, but then they seem to shoot down afterwards again until I've then got this steady stream of brand and marketing messaging happening. And a few people and the things that I've read have said that the algorithm will pick up on the consistency. So anyone that's interested in brand marketing tips, advice, that sort of stuff, they will be served up. And as soon as you're off that track, it will confuse it, or it doesn't know where to serve your content to.
Yes, and you're right, and it is. I think it is consistency, and I do use my personal profile to talk about marketing, but I tend to keep my company page purely for that. And I tend to kind of post about work-life balance, work-life harmony, and general stuff about well-being, being self-employed. And I notice too that sometimes when I veer into that, or veer into one or the other and not just writing about one, it sort of drops. I think people are starting to take to LinkedIn a little bit more and share, sharing more personal stuff to build relationships. But equally, people are more likely to click on a picture of your face and like it than they are if you're to post a stock image of a keyboard. So there's ways around that. One of the key things I've noticed that causes, or two things that really drop in more so reach, I think, than engagement, is one, posting any more than once in 24 hours. That's a big thing for LinkedIn's algorithm is, if you were to post with it twice within 24 hours, it sees the second one and then depreciates the first one, and the second one doesn't get as much in terms of reach on the feed. And then the other thing I found is, whilst it's a lot easier for people to click through with a link, a thumbnail that comes up when you post an external link, any anything external negatively impacts your reach completely.
Yes,
So you're better off putting an image in, and even coming back to it once you've posted it and putting the link in the actual post, so that LinkedIn thinks that LinkedIn obviously wants you to stay within the platform. Doesn't want you to take its users anywhere else. So they're the key ones that I try and stick to as much. And I think it's finding or using various different types of content to kind of create that engagement as well. So it's not just the same old thing, but that's hard. That's not always easy if you've got limited time, limited resources to keep varying your content.
Yeah. And I think as well across LinkedIn, to really sit back for myself, I can do this fine for clients, but for myself, is to sit back and think, like, why am I posting this? Even if it is about just brand and marketing, like, is why this topic? Like, what will someone else get from it? Or will it just almost like bank me in their mind that I do know about something else in brand and marketing that I haven't yet spoken about? Or I guess it's just like the why behind everything, just like really considering that as well.
I get that, the strategic side of it as well, not just doing it for the sake of it, because I think people do that. That said, I get why people just do something, because actually LinkedIn's algorithm is freaking smart in that it knows if you just do the odd post, whereas actually if you are commenting on other people's posts, if you are connecting with people, if you're messaging, if you're proactively creating that engagement, it almost responds and rewards you for that. And this is what I hate. This is where I get really frustrated, because I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play a game with an algorithm. I just want to put it out there as part of an integrated campaign, utilizing the platform as I do with content, email, everything else. But you've got to be savvy with it, and you've got to try and beat it.
And then this is the scenario now of the difference between some of my client work on LinkedIn versus then my own. So although I'm saying I struggle a little bit with my own posting and overthinking it sometimes, and I don't with client work, what I do is I use the platform further than just posting. And sometimes we don't do that for the clients work, and we should be. Like, it's having that time and reframing what the platform is about. And I think for me personally, since I've been self-employed, LinkedIn has been my go-to place to find people and to connect with people. I need to work hard. No, we don't need to work harder.
Smarter.
And just grab a cup of tea, sit down, turn everything else off and not get distracted, and sit and think about, like, who do I want to work with, or who would be really great to talk to, or going back to that person I met at that networking event that was really cool, like, I'm going to speak to him again, and actually using the platform for that and connect with the right people for a purpose, and write an article if I want to, or comment. Do you know when you get asked to comment on one of those posts?
I never have time, and yet I know it's really good. It's great. You should do it.
Like, I've got a notification. It's asking me. It's inviting me to do something, to be seen by more people. Just answer it, like, from the depth of your soul. Answer it, like, and I want to, like, shift my mindset into just 2 days a week, like having an hour twice a week, and doing that. Because you're playing the game, but you're using it for you, aren't you? You're not playing the game then, essentially.
And I think that's the difference. It's having that time and that mind space to use it for good. And I find I go down a rabbit hole. I can get so lost in kind of like reading things and then chatting through and everything else. I'm like, well, that's an hour of my day gone. That's fine. but I've got to put my client stuff, I've kind of got to do all their stuff as well. So I always prioritize that. And then I hit the end of the day and I'm like, oh, you haven't done anything on yours. And so I've done a similar thing to you of carving out that time. I've put in my diary, and this is really anal, but I have put times in Monday through to Thursday, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I've done it in that order so that I don't post more than once in the 24-hour window. But around those times, I go on and I engage and I comment and I post at the same time. And then I go back at the end of the day when I've done everybody else's.
Okay, that's good.
And do a little bit more. But I just sometimes just keep shifting it. And then I post at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday and I'm like, crap, okay, I can't post now until at least 2:30 on the Thursday. And again, then I'm like pulled back in, you know, of the engagement and everything else being dictated to by the algorithm. So it's like, yeah, it's just my frustration with it.
Yeah, I get that. I time block. I've got this LinkedIn strategy actions, and it's color coded, but I move it around. I don't.
You're organised to the each of your arts.
But tomorrow, because LinkedIn is one of my strategic tools, like in my head, it feels like that for me. And tomorrow I have blocked out the morning and I'm going to spend time on LinkedIn and just doing the things that I've just described for future, like, because what we're doing now and what we're posting on LinkedIn will get you customers, clients, and something like 9 months down the line, 6 months down the line. And we should be thinking about social media as meeting new people virtually and building a community of people that you can turn to and that will recommend you. And and that's how I feel that's how we should be seeing LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. That's how I'm reframing it for myself.
I recommend to clients 3 ways of trying to do more on LinkedIn and being savvy with time. That if you're in a queue, whip out your phone and kind of create a bit of engagement, do something with LinkedIn. If you're making a cup of tea, do a little bit. And if you're going for a wee, just have a quick look, or, you know, if you just know you've got to go and have that break. I don't condone taking your phone to the toilet, just adding that in. But there's ways that you can find smart ways of time, pockets of time that you can use so that it doesn't feel as structured as that as well. And but when you don't have the time, blocking it out is a great way of doing it. But it's getting into a habit, isn't it? That's all it is. It's trying to get into a good habit of engaging with it.
And instead of scrolling on it, is to really, when you're seeing posts and you genuinely think that's great, like, say something purposeful in it. Like, because if you just say, love this, or that's great, you're not boosting that person and what they're saying and affirming it or adding your opinion. And then if that post gets loads of comments and everyone else has commented something really valuable, they can all see your comment, and then so can the people who see that post see your comments. Like, give it something, like, give it something from your head and make it purposeful. Like, every action on there add value in some way to the other person, but it will come back to you, I believe. Then you don't know who's going to...
No, you don't. And I think what you recommended is kind of that very, not holistic, but very natural and organic way of utilizing LinkedIn and creating engagement. The algorithm also rewards you for that. And I don't know if people necessarily know this, or the weighting of the types of engagement that you create rewards you and rewards the person who's posted. So Richard van der Bloom works for Just Connecting. He's kind of an insights guy, and he did this big report on the LinkedIn algorithm. And he's kind of shared that for this year, or at least, you know, a couple of months ago, it was a case that the biggest thing you can do for somebody's post and for yourself to kind of be rewarded is to comment on someone's post and to create that conversation to help them. And it almost like booms the amount of reach that you get. Thereafter, if you repost, a straight repost, you kind of get 3/4 worth of those points. And then it sort of goes down from there, that if you just hit like see more, or if you then hit like, so you've kind of got comment, repost, see more, and like. So like, I know it's quick and easy to do, but it's not necessarily gonna give you that weighting that you need. So whenever I post something, my aim is to get someone to comment, somebody else other than me, but to do a straight repost, it's like, that's brilliant, that's, you know, that's what I would love. And you don't always get it. And again, it's this algorithm weighting that annoys me, because there's two ways of looking at it, that you're creating that engagement and you're sharing someone else's post because it's useful and insightful, but you can tell that people do it just to kind of get that algorithm reward. And this is again something that frustrates me. This is pretty much a whinge from me about LinkedIn's algorithm, rather than anything productive and positive for people to take away.
Those tips then, like, that is super helpful.
It's worth knowing. It's worth knowing. So you can target your post, or you can write your post in such a way that you're trying to encourage those comments, and for people to think this is really worthwhile, I'm going to share it, to drive that reach.
And but I get it, like, it is frustrating to have to think of that, and I think that's why I get in a bit of a spiral about it, is that I know the intention is more impressions. And actually some days I'm like, you know what, I'm just loved what I did today, and I'm just going to share it, and I talked about my pain, and someone else will get value from it. If my impressions go down, fine, but hopefully I'll help someone get a standing desk, guys.
That's it.
And my impressions, sure, they went down after, but I got quite a lot of comments on that post about my back pain. It wasn't anything to do with brand and marketing, although I did slip them words in just in case.
Nice. Stuff them.
What they know.
I think that you get that buzz, don't you? And everyone loves it on LinkedIn if you get people to like your post or to engage with it. It makes you feel good. And I know, especially if it's, say, your company page and you start to get the likes, because it's like, that's a lot harder to build reach from a LinkedIn company page. But equally, and I say this to clients, and we need to be aware that as people from our own personal pages, that it's all vanity metrics. And I know we're going to have a conversation on this at another time, and so I won't delve into it, but vanity metrics are there, and they're helpful for you to refresh what you're doing and work it in a way that brings you, you know, the best out of what you put in. And that's, you know, the whole thing. But and actually what matters are the conversations and the leads, the opportunities, and then the sales. So actually almost all of this is kind of more for the metrics of, or did we hit our target of how many leads and conversations we want to have this month, and how many sales we've got in revenue, because that's what matters, not how many likes you got or whether the weighting's right. It all helps, but
and also if those sales leads didn't happen, to analyze the content, test, do something different, have a bit of fun with it, try something different. But overall, to look at impressions over the period of a month, like, that's eyes on your content. Like we said, it doesn't always happen tomorrow, it will happen later on down the line. If you're not doing it and posting and commenting, you're not going to get eyes on it, so you're not going to get the leads and sales anyway. You're not even going to get the opportunity to even try that.
And I think there's a stat, I'm trying to remember what it is, it's almost, can't remember where it's from, so this is really quality. It's like 75% of people aren't looking to purchase or invest in anything at any point. But I think that's right. I'll put it in, if I'm right, I'll make a point of saying in the commentary that I'm right. I'll put the quote in. But my point is more, if at that point in time someone sees something and they're not ready to make the purchase, they will come back to it. And we've said this before, that it's almost like a second website. So all the engagement that you're creating and all those conversations, people will use to make a judgment as to whether they, one, want to work with you, two, you can help them, you know, are you the right fit? So it's not all worthless, you know, it's not a bad use of time, and it supports everything that you're doing. You know, it can be wholesome.
It can be wholesome.
Can be wholesome.
Nice
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
But yeah, also just going back onto the business page, that is a slog. It's a slog to boost them. Like, what, just quickly, what do you do? Like, have you got anything that you focus on when you're posting on business pages, your own or for clients? Like,
so in the algorithm report as well, they kind of talk about how the first hour of your post going live is the most opportunistic for people to engage with it, for it to generate reach. And I think if you can, in a non-forced way, tag a person or tag a company, and the company actually engaging with it has more weight than the person, even if it's a comment or a like, even though they're so far apart, it helps. So I always aim to not always generate discussion, because you can't always do that with a company page, because people did see the person behind it, so they don't want to generate discussion. But with a company page, it's about getting that engagement within that first hour. So with my clients, I will ensure that I've tagged them and they know to engage with that post, because they want to, but also they're supporting their business to get it out there. So that's the main one. I don't use URLs. I try and use images as much as possible, or even video. Video is the one. LinkedIn loves video, so because it keeps people in your feed a lot longer when they watch it. So yeah, that's my main tips for a company page. It's hard. It's really hard.
It's hard on company pages, following other companies and commenting, doing the same thing, but from a business level instead. If they follow you, then if they see your content,
And I think
individuals behind the accounts, like you're making friends with the social media person for that company, aren't you?
Exactly. And I think if you've got people within the business who are very active on social media, and I'm lucky that my clients are, which is brilliant, actually using that company page to comment and to like their posts and engage with it just shows the kind of the human side behind the company, that it isn't just a machine or a face. I think that's just as important as keeping a company page regular and consistent with a few posts a week. But I agree that the big takeaway from that is that trying to drive engagement to a company page is a lot harder than a LinkedIn personal page. It really is.
And the takeaway is keep it wholesome, guys.
Keep it wholesome. Yes. And don't wear your goggles too tight.
I can't stop looking at it.
I can't see them now.
You will see it when you watch
anyone listening, you can't see them as much.
Fab. Okay, well that was good. I feel like you purged quite a lot of
I feel quite good. Exercise the demons.
So episode 7 or 8 of ours might include a guest. About that, so that's really exciting. I'm excited to bring other people on, and we might learn something new.
I hope so, because who we want to bring on as specialists in their field, and I think if they could challenge us, or if they can bring something new that we don't know about, that'd be really helpful for other people too.
Definitely. So look out for episode 7 or 8 for guests, and then future guests are we're going to keep a bit of a rota going on, meeting new people, engaging through LinkedIn and asking people to join us. So that would be really good. End of convo. End of episode 6.
Thank you, Kelly. I enjoyed that. It was good.
Have a great day, Hayley.
And you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.